Welcome to Vinyl Pick of the Week, heard every Friday just after 4 o'clock on the afternoon drive. And joining me for Vinyl Pick of the Week this week, well, he's shot photography all over the world, and he's a really interesting guy. He has done so much stuff from the Olympic Games, and he's been in Burma, and he's been in the Arctic. Danny Bailey. Hi, Danny. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. This is fun.
This is fun. And I saw you the other night when we were, at the Unzipped pre-bash party up at the Crystal Ballroom. So that was a lot of fun.
It was. You know what? It was great to see Glenn Pelche and Mike McDonald, and those guys just rocked the place out. I mean, it was a great way to open up the Unzipped on the eve, I guess, right?
Yes, for sure. But I think you were telling me that you have done a couple of. Have you got some Rolling Stones stories that you can tell me? A few or
yeah, I can squeeze something in here. I was, you know what? I wasn't really a Stones fan until I got chosen to actually shoot one of their shows, and I did, in '94, I did the first Voodoo Lounge show, which was at RPM, and it was like one of those, they announced it the morning of, buy a ticket for $8, and, there was like, 800 to 1,000 people, I guess they played to.
Yes.
And that was Daryl Jones's first night playing bass
right.
Phil Wyman had left. But it was so funny. I'm wandering around. I had to shoot the interviews backstage, and then when the show happened, I was assigned to Ronnie Wood and Lisa Fisher and Bernard Fowler.
Yes.
Right? And it was just like magic. I mean, it's hard to believe that, you're standing right at the stage and trying to get the best shots of these people, and they're just performing their asses off, right?
Right, yes. Yeah.
But that afternoon, just before the sound check, I mean, the band was supposed to arrive, and I'm back in the garage. They had an actual garage door that would open up, and a big room where you could drive vehicles right into the club.
Right.
And this black Suburban comes in off the street, and the door opens up, and all of a sudden I see this video camera come around the door, and on the back end of the video camera was Mick, and he's actually shooting. He's rolling as he's getting out of the Suburban, and of course I'm standing there and I'm rolling on Mick shooting me, and I didn't really know what to do, so I said, "Hey Mick, welcome to Toronto," and he looks at me and goes, "Thanks," and then he walks by, and then I follow him, and we go into the club room, and
right.
He's inspecting everything, and there's just him and I, and I'm like the fly on the wall, about 10 feet away from him, and anyway, he's just checking the stage and where the instruments are, and he goes over to Chuck Leavell's keyboard, and he starts playing the first licks of Memory Motel.
Right,
from,
yeah.
The Black and Blue album, and
yes.
I almost melted right there. I mean, it was just like, oh my God, here I am by myself, Mick's playing, one of my favorite tunes from that album, and it was, like I said, it was really magical. And so we did another sneak show in 2002 at the Palais Royal, which was the first show of the 40 Licks tour.
Right, yes.
And a funny story from that, during the rehearsal, I was assigned to Keith Richards that night. And anyway, during the sound check, Keith's on the stage, and one of my other camera guys, Dave Sanders, is standing over beside him. He was basically the shooter that did Bobby Keys in the horn section.
Right.
Anyway, I'm looking at Keith. He's got this bright white light that is silhouetting him, right? And his hair is all, straggly out of his bandana. And all of a sudden, this huge plume of smoke comes up and out. It was like he was like a god, right? And I knew at that time that it was a blunt that he just lit up, right?
Right.
And Dave Sanders, I hear over our headsets to the director, Dave says to the director, hey, if Keith happens to offer me a toke, would it be rude to decline?
Oh, boy.
And, it was. And then the last show that I did with them was actually Molson Canadian Rocks in Toronto there, the SARS concert. So, it was a lot of fun and something, I was just so lucky to have happen to me, and ever since I've become a pretty big Stones fan. And then
That's
getting
so
back
cool.
to Glenn Pelche.
Yes.
You know what? He's been singing Mick Jagger for so long that I remember back in the early '80s when he was in Sticky Fingers. If you remember that?
So do
band
I.
as well.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you've got lots of memories. So let's get your vinyl pick of the week. Why Shriekback? Briefly.
well, you know what? This is a song that you rarely heard on the radio, maybe CFNY, but you heard it in the clubs, and it was always a good dance tune. And I thought it was sort of like the COVID theme that we
No
went through
kidding.
during lockup. We're all lined up.
We're all lined up.
I just like this song as well because there's not too many tunes that primarily have bass as the lead.
No,
The bass in this song, I just fell in love with.
you got a point there. Well, Danny, thank you so much for joining me on the Care Phone for Final Pick of the Week. This has been a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, okay?
Okay, you too, and happy holidays.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That is Danny Bailey, and he is an acclaimed photographer. He does documentaries and live events that have taken him to 44 countries all over the world. And he's shot the Rolling Stones, 3 times. Here is his vinyl pick of the week, Shriekback, all lined up from the 1983 album Care. Vinyl pick of the week.